Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. I'm Gold Derby senior editor Daniel Montgomery here with Gold Derby contributors Jeffrey Kare and Cordell Martin. We are here to discuss the Disney 100 night on Dancing with the Stars, and we will preview the upcoming Most Memorable Year night that's coming next week. So let's start as we do with the elimination at the end of the night. We had another bottom three that weren't really the bottom three. Like, while not necessarily the bottom three, one of these couples will go home is so annoying. But
Yeah.
after that, we had it was Lele and Barry who were the ones in jeopardy, but not really in the bottom three necessarily. And Adrian Peterson, who went home. So we no longer have to feel weird and squicky about him even competing on the show. What did you think about that outcome, Cordell? Because he was in the middle. He was like sort of somewhere in the
Yeah.
middle.
Mhm.
I figured he wasn't going to last, for the long haul of the season. But I thought, his performance on Monday was going to save him. I thought that was his best performance of the season. It just looks like he just didn't have the fan support. So not surprised he's left this early, but was shocked just based on how well he did this past Monday.
Yeah, what did you think about that, Jeffrey?
Well, I echo a lot of what Cordell just said. I was on the fence about how long he could possibly stay in the competition. So I'm not too sad to see him go. But yeah, I thought he definitely gave his best dance this past week. So I guess that was a good note to go out on. But yeah, it's just sad that he's gone just when he started to get better. But at the same time, I just didn't think. It seems that he wasn't good enough to earn enough fan support. I'm guessing whoever probably wanted to keep him safe. I'm sure that routine would be enough. But yeah, they assumed wrong.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a case of a very fragile fan base in terms of not having people coming out for you every week, no matter what. And then you put them in the middle of the leaderboard, and those people, those casual fans, start to feel safe, and they're not gonna, bust their butts trying to get votes for you if they think you're gonna be all right anyway. So, you know, goodbye, Adrian. With that though, we had Allison Hannigan and Barry Williams at the bottom of the leaderboard. Mauricio Umansky, also close to the bottom of the leaderboard. Was their safety, do you think, a testament to how strong their fan bases are, or just how absolutely not there Adrian Cordell?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the approach that they've had the last 2 weeks, the producers, is kind of, I guess, thrown off just the typical way we're used to seeing the results. And maybe that's probably just to make it more, I guess, comforting for the contestants, because some of those contestants we know are probably going to be consistently in the bottom two. So maybe they wanted to switch it up just so people won't feel like, oh my gosh, America must think I suck. So, but on the flip side, that can give them that extra false sense of confidence that, like, wow, I'm doing really well. And then the next week they go home. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, I think, the way that they're rolling out the results this season so far.
Yeah, I mean, you might think that America thinks you suck if you find yourself in the bottom two consistently, but at the same time, if you find yourself in the bottom two, it gives your fans the opportunity to know that that
Exactly.
you need their help. For all we know, Adrian was in the bottom two last week
Mhm.
when he was called safe. So they just weren't there for him this time. What do you think about those other fan bases, Jeffrey?
Well, I don't think they probably shouldn't be underestimated. Of course, Barry Williams and Alison Hankin both probably have their respective nostalgia fans supporting them. And I guess there also probably is enough people who haven't really been too on board with Adrian within the competition so far. So yeah, I'm guessing it's a combination of both questions he asked Daniel.
Yeah. And I wonder if again, like with Adrian, I wonder if, it's possible Mauricio was actually in the bottom two this week, and we won't know. His fans won't know, because they definitely saved him the week after he was in the bottom two.
Mhm.
So, that's just a testament to, you got to wake up the fans in a real way, not in this fake kind of not really the bottom three kind of way.
Uh-huh.
That feels like
Yeah.
it's too easy for the producers to manipulate results so that they could put someone in jeopardy who's not really in jeopardy, just to kind of goose their
Yep.
votes the following week. So, and that makes me worried a little bit for Mira Sorvino too, because she had a breakthrough dance and she was safe. But how safe? Who knows?
Yeah.
And will her fans be there for her going forward? Lele had a great dance too, but she was in the bottom three. I thought those were two of the best performances of the night. They needed two of the best performances of the night to really stand out. What did you think about those two, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, those are the two that I feel like on paper um would be those type of contestants that will be eliminated early. And so it was great that they had their moment and that, the fans rewarded them by keeping them safe. Um, yeah, I feel like the way that they're rolling out these results, I feel like it's going to screw one or both of them in the upcoming weeks, just because you don't know where they stand. So hopefully they just continue to, put their A game on with each dance, but it's going to be very tricky for them to kind of navigate where they stand in the competition.
What did you think of Mira and Lele, Jeffrey?
Well, Mira, I thought, did a very elegant work to, a dream is a wish your heart makes, which also had a clever finish with the glass slipper. Well, we'll see if, she'll continue the streak from last week in the weeks ahead, or if it'll just be a fluke. I mean, let's hope it's the former. As for Lele, I thought she and Brandon did magnificent, and her reportedly being in the bottom three, even though we'll probably never know if that was BS or not, but well, hopefully that's enough to encourage our fans to keep voting for her.
Meanwhile, at the top of the leaderboard, the top four remain the same, as they have more or less every week. We had Sochi, Ariana, Charity, and Jason Mraz, always in some order or another, but those four always the top four. Is there a chance that any other celebrity besides those four ever tops the leaderboard this season? What do you think, Cordell?
I think Lele has a chance to show up at the top of the leaderboard. I could see like randomly like Harry just one random week when he gets like a freestyle or jazz or something random where he's like either near the top or at the top.
We'll get
Um
to that.
yeah, oh gosh. But yeah, I think those are the two I could see that could be spoilers for those top four contenders.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
can. Yeah, well, I can agree with that. I mean, well, especially Layla. I think she has potential. Again, hoping she can avoid being in the bottom two or three moving forward. And although if it's really anyone else beyond her, or I guess Harry to some extent, I'd be surprised.
And we did see some signs of vulnerability in Jason Mraz, which actually at this stage of the competition is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the celebrity who's just good and there's no kind of evolution and there's no narrative for you really throughout the season. So the fact that he had a little bit of trouble, not a bad routine by any stretch of the imagination, but like he looked a little less comfortable, a little stiffer, in hold in like a ballroom in more traditional dance. It showed that he has room to grow, which you want to show now and then grow as the season progresses. You don't want to peak too soon. What did you think about his performance, Cordell?
Yeah, I mean, and also you got to give props to these pros. Like, they know how to play the game. And so maybe even Daniela might have coached them like, look, you're doing really, really well. Maybe this week, let's kind of, scale it back a little bit. Because to your point, you just don't want to be that contestant that's consistently good. Like, yeah, you might have a Nicole Scherzinger or Charlie D'Amelio that just runs away with the competition, but you want to kind of have those peaks and valleys so people can, see the ups and downs of your journey on the show. So for me, I could see Daniela probably telling Jason kind of scale it back. But
Daniela just a trip, just like a well-timed trip, and
yeah, sometimes these pearls are like, look, we got a narrative, we got to play it up. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I can just imagine in the clip packages they're going to be like, I really wasn't as comfortable as I normally am in that dance. What did you think about that routine, Jeffrey?
Well, I thought it was really good, but even though, yeah, maybe not as good as, as he's did in the first few weeks, but I thought it was really good. And, well, yeah, I can definitely, and I do agree with what you guys both pointed out, how this probably is a good thing for him to, hopefully encourage him to, really step up. Well, at least it doesn't make him, okay, too obvious of a threat this past week. So, hey, so. Yeah, so it's probably better not to peak this early in the competition.
And speaking of peaking too early, or peaking maybe next week, we've got a most memorable year coming up, which is the week when a lot of the emotions come out. We will see potential tears, a lot of potential romance, heartbreak, tragedy, triumph, all the good stuff, and an orgy of contemporary.
Oh, God.
Half of the routines are contemporary, Cordell. 5 out of 10.
Jesus.
So let's look at these one by one, starting with Allison Hannigan and Sasha Farber. That is not one of the contemporaries. They will perform a Viennese Waltz to Perfect by Ed Sheeran, and that's a romance thing. She just had her 20th anniversary with her husband like a week ago, so I'm guessing this might be her wedding year. So what do you think about that for her, Cordell?
I think this is gonna be a great routine for her. As long as she's able just to capture the emotion of the song, I think this will be great for her, and I think it'll be a nice bounce back from this week. So yeah, I think this will be great routine for her.
Yeah.
Well,
and
yeah.
This week, yeah, I just want to say this week, I feel I'm more disappointed in Sasha than I am with Allison, because he didn't give her anything to dance really
No.
in this jazz routine. She was just kind of like,
Yeah, it was,
and that's it. Like, come on, Sasha, she can handle more than that. She's done, really impressive stuff in Hold. She has capability.
yeah.
Anyway, that aside, Jeffrey, what do you think about Allison Hannigan's dance this coming week?
Well, hopefully she'll give it her all, especially since, as you alluded to, her recently celebrating her 20th wedding anniversary. Hopefully, that she puts her heart and soul into this, and hopefully improvement from this past week, which I thought was, okay. I mean, had its moments, but yeah, it wasn't anything to write home about. So, hey, I guess good luck to her.
And we have our first contemporary going to Mira Sorvino and Gleb Savchenko. They will perform to Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Now that sounds emotional. I don't know how much flexibility she has or how many really daring lifts she's going to be able to do. So I'm not sure how contemporary will work with her. What do you think, Cordell?
I'm here for it. She danced to this song on Romeo and Michelle's high school
Oh,
reunion.
that's right.
Yes.
I almost forgot.
So I think if she goes like the campy fun route instead of just like the traditional emotional route and just do something different outside the box, I think that would help her um set her apart from the competition. So if they go that route and just enjoy it's well not enjoy, but embrace the campiness that they did in the movie, I think that would be super dope routine for her. So excited to see her do this. I think if they play their cards right, this could be it for her.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a clever choice of song. I mean, it's a
Mhm.
great song, but yeah, I guess clever choice given the ties to one of her more notable movie roles. And yeah, seeing how pretty well she did this past week, I'm curious to see if, as I alluded to earlier, if she'll continue the streak or if last week was a fluke. But again, I'm certainly intrigued.
Yeah, and I am now that Cordell mentioned it. I am hoping for like a different kind of
Yeah.
contemporary because we're
Mhm.
gonna get five of them. So like they can't all be,
Exactly.
we need something to mix things up a bit.
Mhm.
Um, Not a contemporary, going to Sochi Gomez and Val Chmerkovsky. They will perform a Viennese Waltz to Until I Found You by Steven Sanchez. Now, she's like 17, so she has a very small list of years that she could potentially remember. Um, what do you think about her doing a Viennese Waltz? I'm not worried about her on the dance. What
Yeah, I think she's gonna do well. I mean, she's just been killing it week after week. It will be interesting to see her kind of tap into that more softer side because a lot of her dances have been more fun and energetic and youthful. So it'll be nice just to see that change of pace and see her kind of tap into that more mature side as a dancer.
what do you think, Jeffrey?
Oh, well, again, she's been outstanding week after week, and at this point, I'm always looking forward to seeing what she's got coming up throughout, probably will be throughout the rest of the season. And yeah, and hopefully she and Val do, a distinct Viennese waltz from everyone else who's doing a Viennese waltz this week.
Yeah. And again, like we were talking about with Jason Mraz potentially like, tripping just to kind of
I mean,
humanize you. Like I could see Sochi being, Val being like, be a little wooden in this dance. So you can get the comment from Carrie Ann Inaba and they'll boo Carrie Ann for saying like, I want you to be more emotionally connected to the dance. And then they'll give her a contemporary next week and then everyone will cry. And then we should be producing the show is what I'm
I
saying.
know.
Well, hey, hey, PC, if you're listening, we're willing to do it.
Yes, I would love to be part of the casting team.
Yes. And yet another Viennese waltz will be Ariana Madix and Pasha Pashkov. That will be to Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish, which that song is kind of two songs. There's the gentler part at the beginning, and then there's the full out rock breakdown at the end. I know this is going to be about the affair and when I'm away from you, I'm happier than ever. It's going to be a revenge song. I don't know how you do revenge in a Viennese waltz necessarily, but what do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I'm curious to how this is all going to play out. I could definitely see her probably being the last contestant to dance just because her scandal was like the talk of Hollywood all summer. um, I think this is probably going to be another high scoring dance for her. She definitely will either be at the top or near the top when it's all said and done with this routine.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, well, I agree that it should be interesting to see. I mean, this past week she did breathtaking work, in my opinion. So, but yeah, but yeah, this could be a bit more challenging for her. But hey, I'm interested to see it.
Mhm.
And then we've got another contemporary. We've got Lele Pons and Brandon Armstrong to "I'll Stand by You" by the Pretenders. Emotional song. That's going to be, I'm guessing, an emotional routine. Kind of like the rumba. This is one where you can't kind of go all. It's not going to be something where she can let her energy fly away from her. So I think, the control she'll need on it is going to be another good moment for her. What do you think, Cordell?
I think so. I feel like she's kind of now in that mind frame where she's getting into her head. You know what I mean? She had that week where her scores weren't the best, and then to be in the fake bottom three, I think that's gonna play with her emotions this week. Um, so hopefully she's able to, withstand it. I think she'll be good. I'm sure the judges will probably bump up her scores just to make her feel better, but I think she's probably gonna be in her head, leading up to her dance on Monday.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Hmm. Well, I mean, well, as I mentioned earlier, hopefully her being in the fake bottom three encourages her to do the best she possibly can, and and to stay in the competition for as long as she possibly can. And so, well, hey, she's got a great song to back her up. I'll give her that.
Mhm.
Yeah, what I think could be the highest score of the night, Charity Lawson and Artem Chigvintsev will get a contemporary of their own to Lose You to Love Me. They've already set up her narrative. She's like I'm wanting nines, and they kept giving her eights. So they give her a contemporary, Lose You to Love Me by Selena Gomez is an emotional breakup ballad. So it's that's going to be one where I feel like she's going to be able to, if she can emotionally connect to the music, she's going to get the nine she wants, depending on how the night goes and whether she performs late in the evening or early in the evening. Maybe an early 10. She was an early 8 in the competition, so we'll see what happens there. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, I think the main thing that's gonna help her or hurt her is just the emotional connection. If she's able just to tap into that, she's gonna be golden for a top score. But if she's not able to do that, she's gonna get dinged. And I know like Kare is gonna be the one to be like, you just weren't emotionally there. So hopefully, Artem is able to just have her tap into just that inner emotional being to really sell the dance. But looking forward to it. I think she can pull it off. It's just as long as she can just let herself go and be in the moment.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
I agree with everything Cordell just said, and yeah, Charity has definitely been one of the best contestants on the season so far, and you always look forward to seeing what she's doing. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully she'll do a distinct contemporary routine to stand out from the others going on next week.
And getting back into his comfort zone, I would say at this point, Jason Mraz and Daniela Karagach will perform a quick step. After he got so much praise for his jive, I feel like quick step is going to be kind of right up his alley. It is going to be more in hold, but it's I feel like the speed of it, the energy of it, the personality of it is more in keeping with his more natural style. What do you think, Jordan?
I agree. And just looking at all the dance styles, I mean, it's going to help him that he's the only quick step that night. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be another fun dance. Definitely is going to help him stand out from the rest of the pack. So that could also translate to some nice scores again with the judges. So I think he'll do well as he's been doing since week one. So
Yeah, what do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I agree with everything Cordell just said, and yeah, I think this kind of dance should hopefully be much more in his wheelhouse, and hopefully gets him a little back on track to where he was in the first few weeks, as opposed to this past week. Even though he still did solid work, but yeah, not as on par with the great work he's done before. So yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, this week he was way down in third. So he was still all right. Now, Cordell was mentioning Harry getting some like freestyle or jazz routine that he could bump up the leaderboard. He's got a contemporary. He and Riley Arnold will perform a contemporary to Keep Your Head Up by Andy Grammer. where I can just see it. He's going to be like, he's 6'5", he's muscular, he's going to be the tree that she climbs this entire routine. He's just gonna hold her up, throw her around, flip her, and he won't probably have to do as much, is my guess. What do you think, Cordell?
We've clearly have watched so many seasons of Dance with Stars to know how this narrative is going to play out. Like, to your point, it's going to be lots of lifts and tears at the end, and everyone's going to be like, this is your best performance to date. He's going to get probably all eights. If they're really feeling generous, maybe a 9, but I'm sure he's going to get all eights when it's all said and done. So this will definitely be his high scoring dance to date.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I can definitely see him getting overscored by the judges, no matter how he ends up doing, or no matter how much Riley could upstage him again, which wouldn't be surprising at this point. So, yeah, I'm probably not looking forward to it.
Then we've got Barry Williams and Peter Murgatroyd. This one I'm worried about. It's a Paso Doble to Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. And now again, I feel like Barry, he'll have the character of the dance down. Like he'll be able to perform. He's gonna sell it. I don't know if his knees can take it. I hope they can. This might be one of those bottom of the leaderboard but safe kind of dances. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I'm nervous for Barry too. It's just like the producers being extra cruel to him this week. They're like, we're gonna give you a paso doble, and everyone else gets all the emotional dances. Yeah, it could go either way, but I don't think it's gonna look too good for him from a scoring perspective, unfortunately.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, Ming, seeing how his routine from this past week, well, I thought at least had some class, but yeah, probably wasn't on par with his first few. But yeah, Ming, hopefully it's not a sign of this, things going down for hill for him at this point in the competition. But unless he surprises with a pasta doble to that particular song, I don't have high hopes.
Yeah, and that leaves Mauricio Umansky and Emma Slater performing The Last Contemporary to Rise Up by Andrew Day. I have no idea what his most memorable year could be for Rise Up with Andrew Day. Maybe something involving his marriage. I don't know. I don't follow that very closely. I did not know who he was before Dancing with the Stars. So, he's a fairly strong performer, so I feel like this would probably be more lifts. And I don't know, but beyond that, what to expect from his contemporary. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, I just don't. I feel like this is just going to be kind of middle of the road, to be honest. I think he'll probably maybe see a bump in his scores, but I just don't think it's going to move the needle that we're going to be like, oh my God, he's a contender. So I think he'll get like, 7s, maybe 1 8 if they're feeling generous, but I think it's just going to be middle of the road performance for him.
Yeah, what do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I agree with everything Cordell just said, and yeah, Mauricio is another one I'm not looking forward to, especially after giving what I thought was a pretty lazy performance this past week. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just can't see how he could possibly get that much better.
Well, the last performance of the night will not be by, well, I don't know if it'll be the last performance in terms of, chronologically. It'll probably be in the middle of the show, I'm guessing. There will be a tribute to Len Goodman, the late, great judge, who is now the namesake of the Mirrorball Trophy, the Len Goodman Mirrorball Trophy. There will be a dance number with Derek Huff and Julianne Hough, plus returning pro dancers Kim Johnson, Anna Trebunskaya, Karina Smirnov, Edita Slavinska, Tony Dovolani, Louis Van Amstel, Max Jamarkowski, and Mark Ballas. They will be performing to Moon River. And surprising to me, I would have thought this would be something that, the big routine, they'd have Derek Huff choreograph. It's actually Val Chmerkovsky and Jenna Johnson are going to be the choreographers of this routine. What do you think about that? And how do you think that'll go, Cordell?
Definitely, it's gonna be an emotional moment. Looking forward to just seeing how it all plays out with the dance. Um, I think because of how heavy and emotional it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be a non-elimination week. And I feel like they may introduce or talk about the judges save after this week moving forward. Um, so those are just my predictions, just based on how everything is kind of playing out with this week.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think lots of emotions will be running through everyone, both on the stage, in the audience, and those watching at home. And, to Cordell's theory that we might not get elimination next week, well, let's hope that doesn't mean there will be a double elimination the following week, even though it probably would likely happen.
Yeah, and it would be sort of the right timing for a double elimination, in the sense that you got your top 10, and then you double eliminate, get down to the top 8, and there's your team dances.
Yeah.
So that could happen. Although they could go from 10 to 9 to 8, and then
Yeah.
they revealed that the finale of the show is going to be December, the beginning of December, which is later than usual. They usually end like in before Thanksgiving. So maybe we will get like like sort of an extra week out of this, which I'm sure ABC wouldn't mind having with the actors still on strike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe let's just throw in like a dozen more celebrities. Maybe we could just keep this going, in perpetuity. But yeah, so we'll see if there's an elimination this coming week. I will say I'm looking at the press release. It says live viewer votes will be combined with the judges' score each episode to determine which couples may be in jeopardy of elimination. So it does not say definitively that there will be an elimination, although I don't remember from previous press releases if it has said someone's going home. But yeah, that they left the door open, so it might be like a 2-week sort of thing. These scores will be carried over into next week, and we'll get a double elimination then, or a single elimination then. I hope they do a single elimination whenever they. Only 14 celebs. Like they've had, like the last season they had 16. Like I can understand you having a double elimination when you got 16. It's like, okay, we got to get this thing rolling to a more reasonable number of people. But yeah, so I think we could handle single eliminations from here on out. But we'll see what happens. With that, I want to thank you, Jeffrey and Cordell, for joining me today to discuss Dancing with the Stars. And I want to thank everyone for watching and listening, and for reading along with our Dancing with the Stars coverage at goldderby.com. Visit us there, and we will see you next week.